One of the more popular questions asked by our readers on the upcoming US presidential election is this: will President Donald Trump actually vacate the White House and hand over power should the election result show him losing to Joe Biden? And if he refuses to leave office, can he be forced out? Why would this even be a possibility? Well, Mr. Trump has repeatedly claimed that the increase in the number of Americans voting by mail caused by the coronavirus pandemic will lead to widespread voter fraud.
This is going to be a fraud like you've never seen. The other thing, it's nice on November 3rd, you're watching and you see who won the election. And I think we're going to do well because people are really happy with the job we've done. But you know what? We won't know. We might not know for months.
So if Trump yells fraud and won't admit defeat, how could he contest the result? Lawyers representing the Trump campaign would seize on any reported ballot irregularities in the relevant states. It's important to note the word irregularities, not fraud. Despite what you might hear, there's very little evidence in past US elections or at the moment of mail fraud occurring. Irregularities, on the other hand, will definitely happen because voting by mail is a technical process. Some states require ballots to be enclosed inside an inner security envelope. Ballots can be disqualified if someone puts their signature in the wrong place or writes a slightly different version of their legal name, or for any number of reasons. Still, unless the election comes down to the entire result hinging on a few hundred contested ballots, none of this is likely to amount to anything that will invalidate a Biden victory. It's hard to envision any scenario in which a majority of the Supreme Court, even with a newly seated Justice Amy Coney Barrett, sides with Mr. Trump's rhetoric and throws out mail ballots en masse. So, with the legal process exhausted, the electoral process continues.
Once the winner is declared after all the ballots are counted, all the votes are counted, that'll be the end of it. That'll be the end of it. And if it's me, in fact, fine. If it's not me, I'll support the outcome.
On December 14, the electors meet in each of their states and officially cast their votes for president. On January 3, the new Congress is seated, and on January 6, both of its houses meet to make the electoral vote count official. We reach Inauguration Day on January 20. Mr. Biden shows up at the Capitol to be sworn in as America's 46th president, and Chief Justice John Roberts obliges. What is Mr. Trump going to do? Lock himself in the Oval Office and refuse to come out? Order the military to intervene on his behalf? The moment Mr. Biden is sworn in, the nuclear codes will expire and the Secret Service will acknowledge him as president. If the then former president issues any orders to the military, they'll be ignored. So what are the chances of this happening? Slim. What's far more likely and more consistent with Mr. Trump's personality is that he will claim his defeat is fraudulent and complain about it very loudly, but leave office voluntarily. He can complain all he likes. It won't change the result.